What if every morning was a brand new beginning, a terrifying blank slate where you had to piece together your own existence? How would you hunt a killer when you can't even remember his name an hour later? And what if the very system you've built to survive is just a sophisticated lie you tell yourself? Get ready to have your mind twisted, because today we're diving deep into the labyrinthine brilliance of Memento. Before we unravel this masterpiece, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our next deep dive into cinematic mindbenders. All right, let's talk about Memento, a film that doesn't just tell a story, it forces you to live it, to experience the disorienting, fragmented reality of its protagonist, Leonard Shelby. We open, or should I say we reopen, with Leonard waking up in a dingy motel room, utterly baffled. This isn't just a bad morning, it's his reality. Leonard suffers from anterograde amnesia, a condition so severe that he can't form new memories. Every single encounter, every conversation, every significant event is wiped clean the moment he loses focus. To navigate this perpetual present, he relies on a meticulous system of notes, tattoos, and Polaroids, a physical trail of breadcrumbs leading him through his own life. He's on a mission, a relentless pursuit to find and kill the man who raped and murdered his wife. His body is a walking, talking testament to his quest, adorned with cryptic tattoos, the most damning being, "John G. raped and murdered my wife." It's a powerful, visceral image, a constant reminder of his pain and his singular purpose. He remembers the attack, the confrontation, his wife dying, or at least he thinks he does. This is where the genius of Memento begins to reveal itself, in its unique narrative structure. The film masterfully employs two timelines, one in color, which plays in reverse chronological order, and one in black and white, which unfolds chronologically. The black and white sequences are our anchor, showing us the present as it happens, but in a linear fashion, allowing us a glimpse of Leonard's thought process as he tries to make sense of things. The color sequences, however, are a puzzle box, each scene a step further back in time, revealing fragments of what led to the current moment, but in a way that constantly challenges our understanding. It's a directorial choice that perfectly mirrors Leonard's fractured memory, making us, the audience, feel as disoriented and desperate for answers as he is.
We learn about Leonard's past as an insurance investigator, a profession that ironically equipped him with the skills to track down his wife's killer, even with his condition. His investigation into a man named Sammy Jenkins is a crucial early piece of the puzzle. Sammy, much like Leonard, claims to suffer from memory loss. Leonard's investigation deemed Sammy's condition to be psychosomatic, a mental rather than a physical ailment, and his claim was denied. Mrs. Jenkins's desperate pleas to Leonard to believe her husband fall on deaf ears, and she eventually dies, a tragic echo that resonates deeply with Leonard's own story. Or so it seems. Back in the present, an unknown caller contacts Leonard, a voice on the other end of the line who claims to be a cop. This caller knows about Leonard's condition, understands his predicament, and crucially, offers him hope, or at least a tangible lead. He tells Leonard that the police never believed his story about a second attacker, a detail that further fuels Leonard's isolation and determination. This mysterious caller provides Leonard with information. The second attacker is a drug dealer named Jimmy Grants. A meeting is arranged, a rendezvous in the motel lobby, a flicker of a plan forming in Leonard's fragmented mind. And there he is, in the motel lobby, Teddy. Or at least that's what this man, Officer Gamble, wants Leonard to call him. Teddy, with his slicked back hair and casual demeanor, immediately injects a sense of unease. He claims to be undercover, which conveniently explains his presence and his seemingly intimate knowledge of Leonard's situation. Teddy steers Leonard towards an abandoned building, a trap, or perhaps a crucial step in the meticulously planned investigation. When Jimmy Grants arrives, the tension skyrockets. Jimmy recognizes Leonard, not as a vengeful husband, but as the man with a memory condition. This recognition is a shockwave, a deviation from Leonard's perceived narrative. Jimmy, in a desperate attempt to save himself, reveals that Teddy was supposed to be bringing him $200,000 for a drug deal. This is where things start to unravel, not for Jimmy, but for our understanding of Leonard's reality. Leonard, driven by his ingrained purpose, strangles Jimmy, taking a Polaroid of the body. As the photo develops, a breathtaking visual shift occurs. The black and white begins to bleed into color, a symbolic transition that mirrors the unfolding truth. As Leonard drags Jimmy's body into the basement, he hears Jimmy whisper, "Sammy." This single word is a seismic jolt to Leonard's carefully constructed world.
If Jimmy knew about Sammy, he couldn't be the second attacker. But then Teddy appears, and the truth, in its most brutal, devastating form, is revealed. Teddy admits that Jimmy was just a drug dealer, completely uninvolved in the murder of Leonard's wife. The real gut punch? Leonard's wife survived the attack, and Sammy Jenkins, a complete fabrication. Sammy was never married, and it was Leonard's wife who suffered from diabetes. Teddy, the helpful cop, reveals himself to be the investigator who believed Leonard, who helped him hunt down and kill the real John G. over a year ago. Teddy even claims to have a photo of a happy Leonard moments after the second attacker was dead. The horrifying implication? Leonard, with his anterograde amnesia, forgot the act of revenge and has been living a perpetual cycle of searching for the same killer, a killer he already avenged. And Teddy himself? He's also a John G. His full name is John Edward Gamble, and Teddy is a nickname from his mother. The irony is thick, suffocating. Teddy has been manipulating Leonard, feeding his delusion, using him for his own purposes, all while Leonard believed he was the hunter. It's a chilling testament to the power of narrative and how easily it can be twisted. But Leonard, even in the face of this shattering revelation, possesses an extraordinary resilience, a desperate need to maintain control, even if it's a control built on self-deception. Before the memory fades, before Teddy's revelations are erased, Leonard makes a choice. He decides to continue the hunt, but this time he's hunting Teddy. He scribbles a note on Teddy's photo, "Don't believe his lies." He tattoos Teddy's license plate number, SG137IU, onto his leg, a permanent reminder. He orchestrates his own escape, ditching Teddy and his car, a calculated move to ensure he doesn't forget his new target. As he drives away in Jimmy's Jaguar, still in Jimmy's clothes, he's setting himself up for the next act of his self-created drama. The drive to the tattoo parlor, the inscription on his leg, it's all part of a script he's writing for himself, a way to force the next iteration of his revenge. When Teddy finds the Jaguar, he tries to intervene, to warn Leonard, but the "don't believe his lie" note on Teddy's picture is a powerful barrier, an impenetrable shield against the truth. Leonard, now armed with his self-imposed mission, decides to leave Teddy behind, a decision born from the fragments of Teddy's revelations and his own desperate need for closure, even if that closure is a fabrication.
Then, a new thread emerges, a note in Jimmy's suit pocket from Natalie, inviting Jimmy to Ferdy's bar. Unbeknownst to Leonard, he's now inhabiting Jimmy's life, a costume and a car that don't belong to him. He thinks the note is for him, a new lead. He meets Natalie, played with captivating intensity by Carrie-Anne Moss, and recounts his story, his condition. Natalie, unlike Teddy, seems to believe him, passing his test with a simple observation. She takes him to her home, offering a temporary sanctuary, a place to rest his fractured mind. Leonard, in this moment of perceived safety, replays the attack, his version of events, a story of a valiant struggle against overwhelming odds, of police disbelief, of a second attacker too cunning to leave evidence. Natalie, however, is not simply a benevolent savior. She has her own agenda, a subtle manipulation that draws Leonard into her own tangled web. She tricks him into confronting a man named Dodd, whom she claims has been harassing her for money from Jimmy's drug deals. It's a classic misdirection, another pawn in a larger game. As Leonard leaves Natalie's, Teddy is waiting, an unwelcome harbinger of truth. He tries to warn Leonard about Natalie, but the "don't believe his lie" mantra, now ingrained in Leonard's mind, renders Teddy's warnings futile. Leonard, still clinging to his self-made narrative, decides to follow Teddy's advice, but only the part that leads him back to the Discount Inn, a place of temporary solace and further exploitation. At the Discount Inn, we see the full extent of the exploitation. Bert, the desk clerk, a scumbag capitalizing on Leonard's condition, rents him a second room, even after Leonard has paid for one. It's a stark reminder of the vulnerability Leonard's amnesia creates. He calls an escort service, not for pleasure, but for a desperate attempt to recreate a past he can no longer access. He wants to relive going to sleep the night of the attack, a poignant, heartbreaking plea to grasp at something, anything, familiar. After the escort leaves, he takes personal items belonging to his wife to a reservoir and burns them, a ritualistic cleansing, a symbolic letting go of memories that are both precious and tormenting. In the morning, a chance encounter with Dodd outside the reservoir leads to a tense chase. Leonard, driven by his instinct for self-preservation and the lingering threads of Natalie's narrative, tracks Dodd to his motel. He confronts Dodd, ties him up, and then, in a move that highlights the paradoxical nature of his situation, calls Teddy for help.
It's a twisted dependency, the hunter needing the manipulated to deal with the manipulated. Teddy arrives, and together, Leonard and Teddy manage to convince Dodd to leave town, a temporary alliance forged in the shadows of deception. Now, as a reward for his assistance, Leonard spends the night at Natalie's. The next morning, she agrees to help him trace the license plate number tattooed on his leg, the key to his manufactured revenge. Later that day, Natalie delivers the information, along with directions to an abandoned place outside of town, where a guy she knew used to do bigger deals. Leonard, armed with this new intel, returns to his motel, the pieces of his self-created puzzle finally clicking into place. He concludes that Teddy, John Edward Gamble, is the second attacker. The irony of his pursuit is breathtaking. He's hunting the man who helped him hunt the original killer, a killer he already killed but forgot. He calls Teddy, and they head to the same abandoned building where Jimmy Grant's met his end. This is the climax, the moment of reckoning. But as we know with Leonard, the reckoning is always a performance, a script he's written for himself. Leonard raises his gun and shoots Teddy in the head. And in that chilling final act, we are left with the agonizing realization that the cycle of revenge, the quest for truth, is a perpetual motion machine in Leonard's fractured mind. He's not just hunting John G., he's hunting the very idea of John G., a phantom he conjures to give his life purpose. The film ends not with resolution, but with a profound, unsettling question. What if the greatest enemy isn't the killer you're hunting, but the memory you can't hold on to, the truth you keep forgetting? Memento is more than a thriller. It's a philosophical exploration of identity, memory, and the narratives we construct to make sense of a chaotic world. It challenges our perceptions, forces us to confront the fragility of our own understanding, and leaves us with a lingering sense of unease, a testament to the power of Christopher Nolan's visionary storytelling. What do you think about Leonard's journey? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more cinematic journeys into the mind.